have a few confessions that I have to make today, but I'll get to those in a moment. I just want to take a moment with the good feeling. Is it the people? Is it the fresh-made coffee? Is it all of the above? Is it the food? Is it the building itself? I call it an energy scent. It's like a aura of energy. Let's take a room like this. This Crimson Circle Connection Center has a very good energy scent. You give off a scent. You give off a scent. Sart. Yeah. And what's happening right now is you're all, how would you say, transmitting, radiating more than ever. So when I come to visit, like we are here, or when I come to visit you personally, individually, there's a noticeable difference in your fragrance, in your energy scent. And again, I'm not just talking about smell, but the harmony, and not the harmony between me and you, but the harmony within yourself. You're more free to just let yourself open. And when you get to that point of just feeling comfortable with you, that's a fragrance, a scent in itself. Once you just start getting comfortable with you, you give off a whole different type of energy scent. I was at the Ascended Masters Club last night, and I have to admit that I have a bit of a hangover today. We had a celebration. We had a big party last night. And we stayed up far too long. It was a big celebration, and it was impromptu. Well, as a matter of fact, I came back there. After being around here for quite a bit, I came back to the Ascended Masters Club. I have to admit, I was a little gravitated. That's the word I use to say I've been around you guys a long time, and I just sucked in. So I was a little, we don't get tired, but we just get compressed. Instead of being open, I was just feeling a little compressed. You get depressed, I get compressed. So I said to the Ascended Masters, something's changing. I smelled it recently, and I said, and then on top of it all, I just got back from filming probably what I would personally consider to be the best so far of any of the Masters Life series, Masters Life 4, Sensuality. Well, they went quiet. The whole room went quiet at that point. Sensuality, they said. You mean, Adamus, you're working with Shambra, and they were ready for sensuality. I said, I'm not sure. But I think so. And one of the other Ascended Masters towards the back of the room said, sensuality, isn't that like really the last thing that one does before their true enlightenment? Isn't that like at the end of the book of awakening, sensuality, when you can actually talk about that, when you've broken through the barriers of the mind, you've broken through the whole concept of how reality is simply perceived through the mind and the human senses. Isn't that towards the end of the book? One of the other Ascended Masters yelled out from another corner of the room and said, that was the last thing before my enlightenment. Understanding sensuality, returning to my sense of sensuality, returning to my true senses. That was the last thing, and in that, all precipitated out of the, you could say, longing and the willingness to love myself, to open myself back up into the senses. And there was a kind of a hum, buzz around the whole room. Everybody was remembering their moments, going beyond the mind, going beyond perception of reality through 5 human senses, and finally coming back to their senses, their real senses, going beyond a very singular sense of focus. And that's all you're in right now, one sense. Everything else, your eyes, your ears, your brain, everything else are subsets. They're mechanisms of one sense that you're in. It's called focus. It is an angelic sense. It has many, many benefits to it. It will be a true badge of courage and honor and enlightenment that you wear henceforth, anywhere you go, from here to eternity. It's truly noble to have gone through that sense of focus and no other senses. Well, when I told them what we did here in the last month or 2 months, when I told them the changes that we've gone through from pronos to love, from coming back into real senses, somebody yelled out from somewhere, "Open that bottle," and we did. And we drank Saint-Germain liqueur all night and some wine and God knows what, and we celebrated late into the night. We celebrated our awakening as ascended masters, our awakening and then our eventual mastery. But probably more than anything, we celebrated yours. We celebrated you coming to your senses and being that scent. Here's kind of the barometer, the way to measure all this. In the next few months in particular, you're going to be much more aware of just a feeling in a room, from a person, a pet, an internet site, a certain place you go walking in the woods. It's going to feel safe. It's going to feel very familiar, even if you've never been there before. It's going to feel very energy compatible. It's going to have a harmony and a resonance rather than a resistance. The other thing you're going to notice in energy sense is that now people are going to have a different attraction to you. You're no longer repulsive.
How exciting.
I called her, it wasn't quite the right word. That was a little strong. I can't believe you said it. You're not going to be so resistant. It's repulsive. You've been in your cocoon. It's been kind of stinking in there, and you're emitting that energy scent to others. What scent are you emitting to others? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. You don't want the intrusion. You're tired of the energy feeding, but you weren't really sure how to handle it, so you cocooned yourself. You encased yourself. It's going to change now. It is changing because either you got so exhausted that you just have no fight left in you, or you just started realizing you're never going to get there through the concrete of the mind. You're never going to get there. So you've just allowed yourself to open. You know what happens when you allow yourself to open? Is that cocoon, that energy cocoon starts falling apart. It realizes that you don't need it to encase you anymore, to hold you in, to actually keep you from what you really want to be doing here. So it starts dismantling itself. You don't have to do it. The cocoon knows how to dismantle itself. And then there's the emergence where you're no longer afraid to be you. From the standpoint of you with yourself, that's where the biggest fear came from. Afraid to be you with yourself. And then you're no longer afraid to be you with other people.